What's dream? Who's dream?
Because I was
All
thinking
right.
a dream is a wish your heart makes, and then
Oh, a
said
dream is
dream.
yeah.
Disney Dream.
Yeah. See,
Right.
well, I was thinking of dreams from our Survivor dreams,
I was thinking like
but
the PlayStation game called
yeah, dream.
Dream.
Uh, that's got rant hot. We just start talking about complete nonsense, complete
All
nothing.
right, everybody, welcome to our hot button review of Disney's Wish. All right, we're here to
Yeah,
talk about it. Just came out very recently, and we just saw it in
did
theaters very recently.
last weekend.
So
Yeah, well, you saw it today, didn't you?
I just saw it today, fresh
Yeah,
off the press. All right.
yeah. Okay,
It
yeah.
was me,
It's
my brother, my girlfriend, the only people in the theater, all to ourselves.
really.
That's
I
right.
was actually surprised because our theater was pretty. It wasn't like packed, totally packed, because the couple front rows were empty, but
Mhm.
it was pretty. It was pretty packed. It was pretty attended, I should say. When I went,
Well,
I saw a matinee showing too,
we
but I
saw
did
it.
see it on a Saturday. So
Yeah, we saw 3:30 on a Tuesday, so or Monday, so.
no, Monday. A Monday matinee is yeah. You're yeah. We I remember seeing the Lego movie. It was the first Lego movie. It was a Monday night at like 9 o'clock. A bunch of guys on the floor, just like let's go see this. Like we're not doing anything. Let's all just go
We're
see
laying
this.
on the floor.
And this was in like just outside Boston. So the theater was huge.
Hmm. Yeah.
Only people in the whole auditorium. Only people. There's nobody else. There's probably like a three. It was probably a 350 person theater. There's no one else but us, and it
You
was
gotta love that moment.
great because
Yeah,
because we could just like have fun and like talk through the whole thing. It was great. We had a great time.
that's right. Yeah,
Not that we talked through the whole thing because it's an amazing movie. It was
no,
very fun, but
but I just straight up stood up at one point. I was just, I'm gonna start standing, and
this is
look
like
at me. I can start running around.
look at me, I'm a standing man.
Look at me standing in a movie theater. Yeah. All right.
uh, I guess we should probably talk about the movie that we saw.
What do you think about this movie in one word? Let's just give one word first impression.
Um, Underwhelming.
Mid.
Yeah, I think
All
those are
right.
both
Let's go home,
very.
folks.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, mid is I think the most appropriate because mid has like a negative connotation to it
Yeah.
immediately. It is mid for sure. It is a mid
Yeah, it's
movie.
unfortunate. Here's the thing.
Yeah,
Well, let's do no spoilers first, as always. Well, now
okay,
we're trying to start doing that consistently.
yeah,
No
yeah.
spoilers. Um, broader thoughts. I didn't like it visually. I didn't like the art style of it personally.
I wouldn't this have worked so much better if it was just straight 2D?
I said the same thing. I was like, they're right there. You're
You,
so close.
do you know that they planned on doing that originally?
Oh, these sons of bitches. These sons
There's
of
all kinds of things. I've heard about like little bits and pieces of behind the scenes stuff for this movie.
yeah.
There's so many things I've heard about it. I was like, why didn't you do that? It would have been so much better.
Here's the thing.
I
I
just
thought
it's so frustrating.
looking
This
at
movie
it,
is
I
very
was like,
frustrating.
this feels like it should be beautiful, but it's not to me. It feels very
Yeah.
unpolished. Like when you look at that, it's not like this is what I expect from Disney. When I look at
Mm.
that, I'm like, this is like Ruby. I'm watching Ruby up from Rooster Teeth, and I'm like, Ruby's cool, but that's not Disney.
Yeah, I
That's not Disney
to me
quality.
there's a lot of people that say it looks unfinished. Um and
Yeah.
the reason why it looks that way is because it's literally just the typical 3D CG that they've applied like a washed out filter to
Right.
is what it looks
It
like.
does feel like that.
So the Disney was once the cutting edge of animation. Now we have multiple studios that have done this exact look and have done it like 15 times better than how this looks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish,
Oh yeah.
both Sony and DreamWorks have both done it so much better.
That's
Into
true.
the Spider
Yeah.
Verse films, unbelievably like visually stunning films. Um, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, stunning movie. Like I think you and I couldn't say enough good things about that. How good that movie was. Um, this is just like it looks drab, and that's. I will say there are moments where they really lean into the art style really hard, I think the movie looks really beautiful. But unfortunately,
Yeah,
those
moments. Yeah,
moments are
for
so
sure.
few and far between. And yeah, so the whole movie looks bland. So already visually not off to a great start.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
to me, it's like okay, this could be kind of like maybe a nice looking video game. Like maybe you could translate to a video game more or less.
yeah,
It's like kind of cell shaded almost, but it's like
it looks cell shaded is that's almost again if they'd leaned harder into that, it probably would have looked better.
yeah, it just
It's
doesn't
like
work well. There's certain moments like even like during musical points and stuff where it's like they're moving around and it's like it doesn't look as smooth as you would expect from a Disney movie. It's like Shrek 2001
I,
little bits comparably
yeah,
to
I
the
think I actually
compared
think
to
some
what
of
we've
the
got going on
problems.
right now, like with Puss in Boots, and that it feels like this is like
Oh yeah,
Shrek, you know.
ooh, yeah.
But,
That's rough. So yeah, I think so. To me, I think one of the things that like another thing that sort of stood out to me as being like really bland is like camera work. I would say like the editing and the sort of like cinematography, I guess you could call it, was also just very dull. Everything was like, and I don't know
yeah,
if this was an intent to try to make it look more flat, but unfortunately, it made the whole film like feel flat. Like there's no energy to any of it.
yeah,
It's both like pace like breakneck, but also feels like nothing's going on. It's so strange. It was a very bizarre movie
and
to
I think
sit down and
on
watch.
multiple levels, I think it's mid. I think visually is mid. I think the plot is mid, and I think the music is
Yeah,
mid. The
music was okay.
it's
Music was really pretty bad, actually. I would go so far as to say it was
bad.
bad.
Yeah,
Um,
there's like
I
so there's only not only a lot of the songs are not memorable at all. Like I couldn't even remember one to
yeah.
try to like sing it right now. But there's
This is the
some
things I get. That's
okay.
it. That's the
That's
only
the
one.
best. That's the best and also weird at certain points.
Worst. It's weird. Yeah, it's also its best and the worst at the same time somehow. But
Yeah, it's like that's like the catchiest one,
um,
I guess. But
yeah,
the vibes are just off in certain points. I didn't even like in that song, and this is the things I get when they started having like background vocals. I'm like, what are we doing here? Where do these background vocals come from? It doesn't feel natural at all. It's like ba ba ba
uh,
ba. I forget what it
yeah.
was,
I know. I,
because it's forgettable. But it was like there was little
yeah,
ba ba ba's in the back from people,
yeah. I know.
like a choir.
I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, it just didn't work for me, and kind of jarring whenever it broke into song. It was like, oh, here we go, we're in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Dear Evan Hansen, kind of. Even Dear Evan Hansen vibes.
Yeah. I guess in terms of like how not really interesting the music is, I guess that was about what
Yeah, like,
I would
and
say.
also just like the weird breaks into music was like jarring, and there was also points where it was like there was one point where it was like this is very Broadway, in how they were like doing this song, and it felt out of place, like how Broadway they were doing
No,
it.
I think it was actually the opposite of that. I think it was so not Broadway, and that was the
Well,
problem.
not all the music. There was
That's
one
my.
track, but
There's one track that like maybe tried to lean into it, but here's the thing: they also hired people never worked on a film score before. They the main woman wrote pop songs for like Haley Steinfeld and Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato. And I think Justin Bieber. So she's an
uh,
accomplished songwriter. She's written some like hits, but she's never worked on a film like this before. And like,
right, it is like they threw
why not
some
just?
radio music into a film, right?
And it's just like, okay, yeah, you're not gonna like me for this, but it actually reminded me very much of The Greatest Showman in the
Same.
sense that they were. I think the music in that movie is way better than this, by the way.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm already critical of The Greatest Showman, but like it felt like they're trying to chase that like we can have some radio hits here, like that's what they're aiming for, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, like maybe,
It's like
but like they've done hits better in the past. Like they've done Let It Go. There was no showstopper here. You know, there's so many Disney showstoppers. There's no
hey,
showstopper here.
here's my branded Wish cup.
Very beautiful.
We
You
have
know,
a character.
notice how it's a lot more
It actually,
beautiful when you put it on a flat, like
yeah,
a flat space
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Um, Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think there's so many bizarre choices with this movie because like here's the thing. All our criticisms aside, this is the 100th anniversary film. This is always going to be known as this is the best Disney could come up with for the 100th anniversary.
Yeah.
This is the best thing they came up with, and that's really rough. That's really rough. Like it doesn't celebrate the artist. It doesn't celebrate Disney's past in any way other than very extremely hollow. Did you get it? Nods. I think some people call them member berries. Like, remember this? Like,
Right.
remember the Seven
Oh,
Dwarves? Or
fuck.
remember,
Peter Pan.
yeah, remember Peter
He's
Pan?
there.
Remember all those?
When You Wish Upon a
Like,
Star. That
yeah, do you
old
remember
man
that?
created that
Remember,
song in this movie.
remember, remember that? Remember? Yeah, it's just like that's aside from that, it's just like it's all this is it's just to me it feels like a doubling down on everything that people have levied criticism against Disney movies recently of being,
Mm.
and it's just like this is it, like and like magnified to like up to 11, and it's really really disappointing. Um, because like I think in concept I like the idea of this as a story, and the execution was just so not good, and it's just really sad. I think to me the most one of the more kind of like what I said with there was another movie where I said this about I think it was Doolittle. Doolittle I only saw I think the theater had like maybe like two families in it besides me.
Hmm.
This was like packed with families. I think I heard laughter from children maybe like a half a dozen times throughout this lighthearted comedic movie,
Yeah.
and like some embarrassing guffaws from adults that should not have been laughing at those jokes because oh my gosh, this
There were moments.
I
There were
heard
moments that
somebody
got some laughs, but it was not overall. It didn't.
the moments that got laughs from me were all about that star character because that thing is adorable,
Hmm.
and they did a really good job like doing like physical comedy with it. I think all of that stuff was fun, but
There was one part
most of
where the
the
little
other
animal character. I didn't generally like him, but there was one part where he was like
oh
backing
god
up.
no he's
I like that part.
no,
He's backing his butt up on his face.
Oh yeah, okay, that was cute. Up until then, he ruined it by being like, "I found my butt found that," and I'm like, "Oh my god." So I was like, to me, I heard somebody say this, but it was like, to me, this is like one of the first times where I thought, even with some of the more like lesser Disney films of recent memory, um, this felt like more like a less like a family movie and more like a kids movie. You know,
Right.
like this doesn't feel like a movie that's aimed
Not fleshed
at
out
like
enough.
mom and dad, except for um, it's not it's not going to keep their attention except for the member berries, and then the
Mm.
kids. The humor is all aimed at like little kids, like really little kids, and that add to that a plot that is both extremely surface level and also extremely convoluted
Right.
at the same time. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I found the plot to not be
but
compelling at all. And in the
yeah,
beginning, I was kind of intrigued. You know, when they started
yeah,
showing this guy who was like, "I'll grant a wish like once a month," that kind of thing. But then when we go into like, okay, they don't even know what their wishes are, but yet they're so
yeah,
excited about it. Like, I thought the whole thing was gonna be like he can actually help them accomplish their wish that they actually know about and are passionate about. They choose their wish or
yeah,
whatever, but it's just kind of like we have a mysterious wish and he's in control of it and he quickly spirals like very quickly.
yeah.
But
Like one of the biggest heel turns I think I've ever seen a character
immediately,
make.
immediately,
It was literally
we don't
immediately.
even get a little bits of like, oh, I like this guy. He's, but and
Yeah,
then yeah, the plot really didn't have me hooked from that point on, and then yeah, I just
yeah,
found it to not be up to snuff. But when you brought up the stuff about it being the 100th movie, that got me thinking, yeah, there's some missed opportunities here. It would have been nice that imagine if they did a 100th movie and it was 2D. You know, the thing people have been pining
Yeah,
for. Even if everything else was
yeah.
mid, you know, even just having the the gesture of having a 2D movie again would have been cool.
Having having hand drawn animation, it's just like it's a delight. Like that's one of the things I'm looking forward to. When oh the new Hayao Miyazaki movie when that's gonna come out.
Hmm.
Like I'm so interested in that. It's just like I'm actually like excited for it. I know as little as possible about that movie because I'm just excited for that experience to see another film by him in the theaters.
Yeah.
And and this didn't get that same excitement for me. Like I wasn't like overly I was hopeful but like not overly excited about this movie. I guess is kind of my thoughts on it. And I guess now we can maybe get into a little bit more spoilery discussion. Um
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's kind of disappointing. And I think lots of good ideas that just never came to fruition.
Yeah.
And yeah, it kind of just was not all that good, which is sad.
Before we go into spoilers, let's say, yeah,
Yeah,
would not recommend.
no,
When I say
I wouldn't recommend.
2D, when it would have been cool to be a 2D movie as a gesture, at the same time I'm conflicted because like imagine they did make this a 2D movie and it would have had negative reception because it's just a bad movie, and they would be like,
Yeah,
"Look,
yeah,
see, people don't like this
yeah,
kind of movie.
yeah,
We're
that's true.
forget it."
That's true. That's true. If it bombed at the box office, like this is almost certainly destined to. I know some people are saying it might have legs like Elemental did. Elemental eventually doubled its budget, so it might have legs. But like honestly,
Elemental
Elemental had
deserved yeah, more
so
than
much more going for it than this stinker. Like it really Elemental. Like again, I had problems with that movie, but like overall, I enjoyed it. I would
yeah.
recommend that movie to people. Um, Whereas this is just like yeah, bland, drab to look at,
Yeah, and compared to there were a series of different of the other Disney movies, even ones that you liked more than me, like Luca, that I found meh
yeah,
in the past,
yeah.
in like the past couple years that we reviewed, and some we haven't. But I found this one to be worse than all of them. It's like one of my
Oh
least
yeah,
favorite Disney movies in a long time. I'm just
yeah,
sorry to say.
yeah. I think one potential issue with this movie is I almost feel like there's like it was like 4 or 5 drafts ago before whatever draft this movie was in terms of a story is probably where the great movie is somewhere in those scrap drafts because well some of this other stuff isn't working so let's just pare it down to where we got it.
Hmm.
One of the ideas that I heard originally was the king and queen were both just evil from the get go, and that's the thing. They were both evil.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know how amazing that would be? We've never had anything like that really before. I know it sounds ridiculous to say something like we've never had like imagine 2 evil characters, but
Mm-hmm.
like can you imagine like the evil duet? Like what kind of an awesome music idea that would be? They're just reveling in their
Yeah,
wickedness. That'd be fun.
yeah.
Like to have a pair of evil characters like that, like a pair of villains. I think that would be so much more enjoyable than what we got, where the queen is just kind of a nothing. She's like nothing. She's not barely a character.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
she's just like yeah, the one that that you know has a change of heart about this character, or whatever, comes in clutch in the end,
but
that typical thing. But yeah, when I was watching this villain in here talking about, you know, he's like, I'm so handsome, you know, looking, I have mirrors everywhere, stuff like that. I was like, man, I was thinking we haven't had like one of our iconic Disney villains in a long time. I think all of our iconic Disney villains, and they were all made like 100 years, almost 100 years ago. You know, it's like
yeah,
Scar, well, not 100 years ago, but like a couple
yeah,
decades
yeah.
ago.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
It's like
like
Scar, Ursula, Jafar, like the
because
past
they've
couple
been relying
decades.
they've been relying a lot on twist villains or no villains. Um,
They just yeah,
for a lot of their more recent
and they
movies.
don't have any lasting power. You know, the most recent
Yeah,
example of any sort of memorable villain I can think of is like Oogie Boogie. Like that's the good,
Oogie
like
Boogie
the
is great.
solid
No,
character.
I would say even in Princess and the Frog, I would say
Facilier, yeah,
Doctor Facilier is great. I love him actually.
yeah.
He's a little underdeveloped, but I he's great. He's got a
But
great song. I like Doctor Facilier a
we're
lot,
talking
but
2009. I mean,
yeah,
the last decade of Disney movies, like
yeah.
you can barely I can barely name the Disney villain. But
Well, okay, we've got we've got
there's Fluff and Stuff
uh
from Frozen, Fluffin,
Fluffins, Fluffin,
Franz.
Fluffin stuff. Hans, you've got
Yeah,
Hans from Frozen. He's a twist villain. You know, say what you will about that. When they did it the first time they did it, it was great.
yeah.
You know, it was
I mean,
great.
it was cool, but
Um,
he himself was not like, oh, that's an iconic Disney
he's not
villain.
like overly compelling. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's not like an iconic because he's a twist villain, right? So it's like I
yeah.
fooled you the whole time. He's not evil from the get go, and that's the thing. And that's actually the thing with this character whose name I can't remember. Our Magnifico.
Magnifico, yeah.
Um, I it's weird because they tried to play it both ways because they tried to make him like a likable character, which is fine. Sometimes making your villains likable is actually really interesting, but they made him like a good person. Like I know they're treating him like what he's doing is wicked, especially when Asha finds out like, oh, you're hoarding them. But like I didn't I was on his side through most of the first half of the movie. Because I'm like, look, he's this is a social contract. These people come, they grant me their wish, I give them lives of plenty. They never want for anything. They're protected. I protect them.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was like,
And
that's kind of based. He was like, they don't pay rent for
yeah,
anything. Oh, based. Okay, cool.
yeah. I was like, he's like, he gives them like I say, he gives them lives of plenty. They don't have, they want for nothing. They essentially prosper. It's like, okay, you could say that's like messed up that they don't remember, but like they willingly know that when they do that, when they say that to him, they go to the kingdom knowing that that's going to happen. Like he doesn't pretend that that doesn't happen.
Hmm.
You know, so it's like it's just weird. That's weird to me that it's like this is now a problem, and it's like, but is it really a
But
problem?
the problem is that they're taking away people. He's taking away people's wishes. That is like part of their defining characteristics, and they like what was that guy David or something? He had like he was like soulless. He was like he's just been sad ever since he turned
Yeah,
18. You know,
yeah,
it's and he's like just kind of hoarding the wishes without.
right. And it's like okay, there's a certain degree of that I understand, but to me, it's like there's so much about why he's doing this that is completely unexplained. Do you know how they tease like that tapestry? Like they tease it like two or three times, and then they never explain it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, remember we want to protect him. We can never have that happen again." And it's like, "Well, what's that? The kingdom was attacked or something, I guess." But they never explain. So there's all this idea of a backstory, but they never flesh it out. Um, the then he feels super threatened by this magic or whatever that comes down when she wishes on a star.
Sure.
But the magic itself. So here's another thing, another problem. They don't explain the magic. They don't explain. You got to have rules for magic. I know Disney doesn't necessarily always like to do this because it's magic. Well, you don't need rules, and it's like, well, no. When you're telling a story, you do need rules for your magic, or else it just falls apart like this movie does.
Right.
Because the
Yeah.
star doesn't grant wishes. It never grants a single wish in the whole thing. All
The
it does
star
is make
just
animals
does things.
talk.
It
The
does
star
things.
just does
It'll
things.
open doors. You know, and you're just like, oh, I'll open this door.
He just
You
open
know.
doors. He makes animals talk, and like makes like plants talk, and that's like about it.
Yeah.
So he's not like granting wishes really.
But people are
So
supposed
it's
to
like
wish upon him or something. Yeah. Remember, he's at the end. He's like, she's like, he's got to go back so that people can wish upon him or something, something like that. Okay, I guess so.
which is like all
I don't
right, I
know.
guess. So I mean, that's the annoying thing too. The ending where it's like, oh, we all have our dreams inside. It's like we're stars. We're the stars. We can make the wishes come true ourselves. except for the fact that she then becomes a fairy godmother,
God,
and well, whoops, I guess maybe not.
dude, the everyone's a star thing that actually was annoying. Yeah, it was
Oh,
annoying.
that actually pissed me off.
You're a
I was
star.
so during
That
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 whole
whole
song.
sequence, yeah.
Yeah, the whole song, I had an expression that was like this, and I'm not kidding. I was like that the whole time. I was like, yeah, just like all joy. It
Okay,
was like all joy was sucked
okay.
from me.
I'm jumping
It
around
was so
here,
dumb.
but okay, the
Yeah.
ending
Okay.
annoyed me.
Yeah. Mhm.
Of course, everybody let's wish together, and it's them wishing is what conquers the big bad in the end. Of course, everybody wish at once in unison in music, perfectly
And that
coordinated, whatever.
and that somehow gives their wishes back to them
I don't
somehow.
know. I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
what
It just
happens.
happens, and then but also in the beginning, it annoyed me. The first encounter between Asha and Magnifico. Why does he spill all this stuff to this girl? He
Right?
takes her in and shows her these wishes which no one ever has seen before. But this girl, there's something about this girl. He just
Why?
instantly knows she's apprentice material or something.
Okay.
And so let me spill
So
all these secrets that you should know.
why does that plot thread go nowhere? By the way,
Yeah.
he's looking for an apprentice. This is like a huge deal. It's like the first 20 minutes in the movie, and then it's completely dropped after that.
It's a completely missed opportunity. I think we immediately get into she's into the information. Would have been a lot more
Yeah.
compelling if you let it brew a little. We don't know that he's bad. She actually becomes the
Yeah.
apprentice and then like uncovers like
Yes.
shady stuff going on.
Here's another thing that would have been interesting. I was thinking this while the movie was going on. What if she was not just an apprentice? Because here's the thing. There's like a weird dynamics between everyone in this movie. Get rid of her stupid tragic backstory that because she's an orphan, because all Disney characters have to be orphans or whatever. Her dad died. She's not technically an orphan. Her mom's still alive and her grandfather's alive. Make the king her dad. Make her an actual princess, for one thing. Make her an actual princess.
Mm-hmm.
And then it could be this thing where she finds out that this is actually what happens with the wishes.
Yeah.
Like, there's something more sinister going on. Instead of, like, again, I don't think there's anything inherently super sinister about what he's doing until he makes the heel turn and then he's, like, absorbing the wishes. Then it's like, okay, he's clearly evil now.
He just immediately owns it. And he's like,
Yeah.
to her face saying this stuff. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. And
so she's immediately out on him. Like 10 minutes into the movie, she's out on this guy who was like put up on a pedestal. It's like this amazing, beautiful guy.
But then you've got stakes, you have drama, because it's like, this is my dad, and like I trusted him. Now that it's this weird, complicated relationship where it's like, how could he feel this way? I disagree with him.
Yeah.
And then a lot of it is more like the struggle is more. I would almost say it's like more relatable to a certain degree. I don't know. It's right. So much more. It would be so much more interesting that way.
A lot more courage to go against it than if like you just stumble in and this guy immediately flips from like being a cool guy to like
instantly.
And it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go back and tell my grandpa and like what's good here, and immediately start planning his demise, basically.
It also would have been like, to me, what would have given it more. Another thing that could have given it more depth too is that if he'd like, instead of being like, yes, this is his wish, well, I don't know, it's too vague, so I can't do anything with it. I don't know, it's too vague. It could mean anything.
Dangerous.
But like,
it's a dangerous wish somehow. I don't know how that.
Right. Actually show a dangerous wish.
Yeah.
Like this is assuming that people in the kingdom are all good people.
All wholesome wishes, yep.
They're all wholesome people. And like, people are selfish. People aren't just going to be. I get this is like Disney like jerking itself off or whatever, but like it would be so much more interesting if this felt like a compelling, like the world felt more compelling, where he's like, no, I have to weigh, where it's almost like a Doctor Strange thing, where he's like, I have to weigh like all these variables and things, like I have to like decide like I've made this contract with these people, I have to like decide which could be really dangerous, it could be super powerful, and like actually show like, no, like this is a wish that came to me, and it's like something like really fucked up, like really dark.
Yeah.
It'd be like, no, this is
like that.
This is the kind of wishes that some people are really into, and this is why this is so important that I keep them. like something like that. But
Something
it's like no, he's just
compelling.
kind of a douche,
He's just
and
clearly self-interested.
yeah,
That's all.
it's just
And then,
he's just
but
he's just out for power. That's kind of it.
yeah, there's plenty of different angles we could have taken. But even like I said,
Yeah,
it could have been compelling to like keep the veil up still, have her actually
yeah.
become
Well,
an
yeah,
apprentice, and he seems like a great guy. Man, this guy is fulfilling
yeah.
wishes every month, and he's like,
A
oh,
little full of himself, but
even she
you know,
mentions like grandpa or whatever. He could have some explanation, like, oh, I'll try my
mm,
best. It's just like,
yeah,
it's not all just my say or something like that. And then just like
mm,
slowly you're
yeah.
uncovering like, wait, what's going on here? Oh,
Yeah, that's where the
there's something
pacing
there.
just is so weird. The pacing is so weird in this movie. It's
Hmm.
like that's the thing where it's like we're immediately like, oh, we like know all this information about like it's like
Yeah.
15 minutes in the movie and we know he's like kind of up, sort of up to no good for.
That's what I was saying.
Came out of nowhere. Yeah, we kind of know he's up to no good. First 15 minutes of the movie, it's just so weird. Like I don't know it. Yeah,
So overall,
could have taken
the rest of the plot isn't really that interesting to go into, in my opinion.
no, no.
But
It, a few grievances.
yeah,
One, I'm done. I'm so done and tired of the adorkable protagonist. I'm
adorable.
so tired of it. Yeah. We're just like, I'm quirky, I'm saying things, and it's like
Yeah, that's true.
she's a little bit more restrained in some parts of it, like when the plot demands that she take things a little bit more seriously, she kind of does. But like where it worked with characters like Rapunzel, she was sheltered from society, so she was already socially awkward about that already. And also with like Anna, again, sheltered from society, kind of like a shut in, some weird social issues. With here, she's just like a normal girl, but it's just like, dee, I'm awkward, lulls.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's just like, I'm sick. I'm tired. I'm tired of that character. I'm sick of that character archetype. I
not even
really
that.
am.
Not even that. What was more off-putting to me was just the general Gen Z humor that was injected in this movie.
Well,
Our
yeah.
villain,
Yeah.
our villain says like, uh, maybe it's not specifically Gen Z, but he was like, he was shortening words. He was saying like, people have got probs. It's you have a prob. It's not my job. Or something. He said something like that in a song, an actual song. There was the animal. Was he a lamb? Is that what the animal is?
Yeah, he's a goat. He's like a goat,
Is a goat. Okay.
right?
I thought he
Or maybe
was a
he's a
goat,
lamb.
but
I don't
he
know.
referenced like the string being made from like his wool or something, his father's wool or
Oh
something.
yeah. Okay. Okay. So maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a lamb. I don't know. It's a sheep. Who knows?
But
I don't care.
he
I got a
he
popcorn
said
bucket with his stupid
yeah. He said I feel
face on it.
seen. He said I feel seen at one point. Uh just little parts like that. I'm like, oh come on. It was
Yeah.
a little too much for me.
So what do you think about the Seven Dwarfs characters?
Yeah, this a band of freaks. They're friends. Yeah. They were
There's too
not
many
good.
too many characters. Too many characters. I don't care about any of them.
I don't care about them. Yeah.
I don't care about any of
I
them.
don't
The
think it
only
makes you
thing that I
isolated
care
when you
about,
would, because they weren't fleshed out in any meaningful way. They were just they
yeah,
were the friend group, whatever.
yeah. So I saw. I'll give you an example. I saw Lightyear last night. This is the first time I saw
Mm.
that. I was actually surprised at how okay a movie it was. Like this is mid slash not good. That is actually a pretty okay movie. Like I would very willingly watch Lightyear one again, like over and over. In fact,
Mm.
it was entertaining. I think there's a lot of problems that I have with the movie. I think there's issues with it, but one thing that movie does, is it fleshes all the characters out. All the main characters are fleshed out. They're not all like super deep or anything, but we get to know them a little bit here and there, even though a couple of them are just sort of like goofy comic relief. But it's like we get to know the characters in that. And I like getting to know the characters that I'm going to be spending time with in the movie. This movie, you only know like two characters, and neither of them are especially. One is the villain,
Yeah.
which again, his heel turn is way too fast and really stupid. And then other is Asha, and I just don't care
Yeah,
about her at all.
and the
So
lamb animal, whatever his name was.
he's not a character. He's just a joke
He's the
uh,
comic relief
outlet.
guy. He's their attempt at
It's
a donkey. He's like a diet donkey, I think.
oh, he's so bad. He's so bad. Like he's just a vacuum
But like,
for all things horrible.
I can't
Like
remember
it's
his
just
name. I don't remember any of the other names except for Asha
no.
and what I can't even remember the villain's name now. What was
Magnifico.
Magnifico? That's right, and Queen Amaya. Those are the only names I remember. So,
Yeah. I don't even remember that.
mm.
Um I just remember so yeah, okay, so you want to talk about how the star character is basically just a Luma
Luma is Luma.
from Super Mario Galaxy? Literally a Luma. Like mischievous, um cute, extremely cute. They're not Luma from the Super Mario Brothers movie because that Luma was really dark, but it's the Luma from the games essentially, where it's just very cute, very whimsical, very playful, um, and that's it. And that's why
I mean,
he's
there's a
great
little more
because he's
personality to him than like a Luma, but it's
yeah,
very similar
well,
vibe.
not that much more. It's yeah, not I would say not
I mean,
tremendously much more.
he
I
would
mean,
like
he's like
fold his arms and like
he would like fold his
opening
arms a little bit,
doors
yeah.
and doing
Well,
little
some
physical
Lumas in Mario
comedy.
Galaxy did that. Some Lumas in Mario Galaxy did that too,
Okay.
but
Um,
not like fold their arms because animation. But um, yeah. So yeah, the music, the songs. Oh my gosh, and we already talked about it a little bit, but like this, I was talking with some friends about going to see this movie, and I think I'm gonna say something that might be a little bit for our channel might be like sacrilegious, but I think Lin Manuel Miranda is the scourge for Disney music currently because I think he's amazing. But when you have even he's not impervious. We saw Scuttlebutt
he worked
earlier
on
this year.
this.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
But what my point here is people trying to sound like his music, trying to emulate the style with the wordplay.
Yeah.
You do not the wordplay in this is horrendous. You do not have his skill. This man is a wordsmith. Do not try to emulate that. Please stop trying to emulate
It's
that.
particularly noticeable in the beginning, like with the first song, where she has like some
Yeah.
fast like sing talking part, and I was like, I couldn't even
It's
understand
so
what you were saying.
bad. No, it's so bad.
And
And
something
it's
about
like
the mix is also a little weird to me. I think like some of the levels were a little off to where like I couldn't fully hear like the words being fully enunciated at certain points. It was just kind of blended together, but I don't know.
for the life of me, I just can't figure out for your 100th movie, is Alan Menken busy? Like, was he too busy doing something that you couldn't have him work on this? The
Hmm.
man is like responsible for the current success of Disney. I wouldn't say single-handedly because there's a lot of people at play, but like that music, the music he wrote for all the classic films that we know and love, that they're remaking now because that's the only way they can make a buck. He is so good. I still would say this is it's at least in my top 3. It might be for a time it was my favorite, but like I still think one of the best singular songs he wrote for a Disney movie was I See the Light from Tangled. And that's a more recent one that he did.
Hmm.
I think that song is unbelievably beautiful. And that's on top of his massive backlog, like his huge collection of just writing amazing music. And it's just like you go to this and it's just so blah and bland and it just doesn't none of it works. None of it works.
Yeah.
It's sad. Really, it's sad when it comes down to it because it's like there's so much potential this movie could have had, but you want to talk about any of the more member berries, like how it's like, oh, this is the origin of It's Magnifico is the mirror, the magic mirror on the wall, and
Oh wait,
Asha
yeah,
is
I'm
that's. Did you
well.
miss that?
I didn't know that's what they were getting at, but I was thinking at the end, I was
Yeah.
like, this is like the ending of a Black Mirror episode. They put him, and he's trapped in a mirror. He's like trapped in a mirror for all time. Like, okay. And it's like ironic
So
too.
yeah,
It's like
he's
you look at mirrors so much, now you're trapped in a mirror for the rest of eternity.
he's the magic mirror now.
Okay.
I think that's what they were getting at with that.
I didn't get that.
Um, you have a reference to Zootopia, which also upset me
Mm,
because I love that movie, and
yeah.
that movie does not. This movie does not deserve. Zootopia does not deserve to have a reference to to it in this movie.
But I guess
Um,
I mentioned it earlier, but I didn't clarify. Did you watch the post credit scene?
yeah, where he plays "When You Wish Upon a Star."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the song he writes.
Yeah. Canonically, he wrote that song. He wrote it.
That's what I
He
mean. That's all
created
this
this song.
movie is at the end of the day is just member berries. Like that's when that's the most that you can like, and it's not even a positive. Like it's just kind of detracting from the movie at this point. Like, and what she Asha is the fairy godmother, I guess is the thing.
And that
Love her.
that dude was
By the
Peter
way,
Pan.
love her character design. By the way,
Oh yeah.
let's just throw that out there. I hate her. I think she's a terrible character, but I love the design. I think she's amazing visual design.
Yeah, I love the hair.
It's just unfortunate. Her hair is so cool. Every time it was moving around, I was like, I love that. It's too
Well
bad
done.
this movie looks so bland.
Yeah.
um, I
Yeah.
also say, I think despite not really liking any of the characters, I think the vocal performances were all really good. I think Chris Pine absolutely killed it.
Mm.
Um, I think both his singing, his just general performance was really fun. Um, even when he turned full evil. Uh, yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I
good
didn't pay
stuff.
attention to the voice actors. Was there any other notable ones? The main character.
Ariana DeBose was Asha. She was in she was just in the West Side Story. Um, she
Um,
was not the main. She was not Maria, but she was her sister.
that's
That was
her sister.
um
Is she the one that works with like Lin-Manuel Miranda? That's someone else. Let me look it up.
on what?
In
Yeah,
other
just
things.
look her up. Yeah, other things. I don't think so. I don't.
Oh,
I
it
can't
is.
remember
It
off the top of my
is.
head what else she's been in. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm not
she
sure
was
what she
in
worked.
whatchamacallit. She was the she was in Hamilton. She was like the bullet, the secret character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'd forgotten that, but yeah, because she sings too. She's got a great voice. So.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay. Interesting. All right. So, do we have anything else to say before we get into scores here?
another idea that I had for the story, which is actually what I was expecting going in, knowing the general outset. I thought what they were gonna do was it was gonna be a monkey's paw situation, where it's like he's hoarding the wishes because he's like, oh, there's a lot of danger in just granting all the wishes. She somehow gets a power or the ability to start granting anyone's wish,
Yeah.
and then realizes after that starts happening, oh, maybe he had a point, maybe. And so essentially, I was thinking like they both learn to sort of from each other, kind of, and then sort of the villain has a redemption.
Mhm.
Like, given how much time is spent to making us like care about him as a character, I kind of thought he was gonna get a redemption, but they were just like, no. So it's just riding a weird line where it doesn't want to go one way or the other really, and it's just
Yeah, that's true.
too bad. Yeah.
That's true.
Um. Yeah. I think
So,
that's about it though.
All right, let's get into it. What score do we
Yeah.
give Wish? Also, for some reason, it bothers me certain movie names when it's just one word. Like, especially when it's Disney. It's like Disney Wish is what we're calling this. Like, we're just gonna put
Yeah,
Wish
on the cup.
review.
Disney Wish.
Disney
Disney
Wish.
Wish. Disney Wish.
Even like
Yeah.
Soul, even though Soul is awesome, it's like Soul. Disney Soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like if
Disney
they just called
Pixar
a
Soul,
if you
I
just
think.
called a movie Bird, it's like Disney Bird. You know, it just doesn't have a ring to it.
Falcon. Disney's Falcon.
Yeah.
Um.
This is tough. This is a tough one to score. I don't know
Yeah.
how low do you go?
Well, I'm at like a 5. I think personally. I think this is. It might even. I don't know. It's like it's hard to say. Like this is. If I was to open Letterboxd up right now, I would probably give it 2 stars.
I think we'll give 2.5, maybe. You know, I'm
Yeah.
thinking 5.5 is around where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other movies reviewed 5 that are probably significantly worse. I mean,
Yeah.
if I could think of a 5,
To
I don't know.
to me, it's levels of because there are things that I did enjoy about it. Like I said, I think there's a lot of potential in it. To me, it's almost like the reason I'm saying like 5 is like this is like Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is a nostalgic movie for me that I despise. if that makes sense. It's a movie that's just not good at all.
Is that what you gave Phantom
There's
Menace?
stuff about it that I really like, but there's a lot of potential there that's very frustrating, and that's what makes it such a fascinating movie to watch.
Yeah.
I don't think this movie is as fascinating to watch. I don't think I ever really want to watch it again, but I think it's about the same level of like so much unfulfilled potential in an idea, in a concept, in a film that should have been standing for something much greater.
Yeah.
It should have been. It felt like they just didn't really work on it all that hard, which is shocking to say, but
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I've given
um,
for me to come in saying everything's mid, everything's
yeah,
mid. I think that's appropriate. A 5, I'd say 5.
yeah,
That's mid.
yeah,
That's mid as you get.
yeah, just straight mid.
You say 5?
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm gonna stick with that. I can't. I don't feel like I can justify going any higher
I was
personally,
thinking 5.5, but
because it's not like it just doesn't excel at anything. It's just kind of average, run of the mill, basic Disney movie that doesn't have all that good songs, doesn't have very many memorable characters, and just sort of like trudges along with a lot of unfulfilled potential. Like I said, I think there's concepts and ideas in it that I really like. The general premise of the story is really interesting. I like that idea, but it just yeah.
So Tarqaron score 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Gaby's better, right? Is that what we're saying?
Gaby's better.
Might just be better.
I mean, yeah, it might just be. It might just be.
I'm just trying to remember some of the movies. Like I don't remember exactly what we gave Dear Evan Hansen.
Oh, it was lower than this. Well, because that movie was actively bad.
It was very close to this.
Oh, okay. I think I gave it. Didn't I give it like a 3.5? I think I gave it like a 3.5 though.
I don't know.
Something or 4 maybe.
Let's look back. I'm gonna look back real quick. We'll cut around it.
Yeah, let's check it around. Check it out. Might as well check
because this is in the bottom range of our scores. I do have a list of all our scores, so this will put it right there with Blood Rain and Halloween Town 2. That's where it's at, and slightly above Attack of the Clones and Gaby, which are 4.75.
That's I'm completely okay with that.
I mean, I feel like Gaby's actually better now. But Dear Evan Hansen is a 4.25. Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald is 4.25. Sonic and the Secret Rings.
What did I give? What did I give that Crimes of Grindelwald? What did I give that? I don't even remember. We just watched it earlier this year.
Let me check. But let me just rattle off the rest. You got Sonic and the Secret Rings,
yeah.
Marvel Rising, Playing with Fire, Peter Pan and Wendy, Ghostbusters 2016, Pinocchio 2022, Hybrid, Doolittle, Viking Warrior, Women, Alien Origin. These are the movies that are below Wish. So.
Peter Pan and Wendy was much worse than this movie. I'll give you that. I'll give you that right away. That was so much worse than this movie.
Yeah.
It was.
You gave it a 4.5. Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
What I give? Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that movie was not good.
Yeah,
that movie was not good at all.
So I mean, that puts it very low, very low. We're the top, around almost bottom 10.
It's one of the lowest animated films that we've reviewed.
Yeah, only above.
It might be the lowest.
Only above Marvel Rising: Playing with Fire.
Oh yeah, well that barely counts. It's like
exactly.
That's like two episodes of a show that's sort of a movie. It's like 44 minutes long. This is a full movie. That's
which one would you rather watch?
Only slightly better than that.
Yeah, which one would you rather watch?
That other one, because it might be worse, but it would be over more quickly.
That's right.
Yeah. Damn. I could probably laugh at that one more. I can't really laugh at this. That's the thing. There's nothing that's like entertainingly bad about this. Whereas Marvel Rising, there was some entertainingly bad stuff, like the music mixing in that movie. Yeah. You remember how like they would just be playing lyrics over talking, and I'm like, my brain can't process what's going on.
Yeah, it's like we've had live action Disney movies that are just like a recurring joke for the most part in this channel, like getting low scores.
Pinocchio and Peter Pan and Wendy.
But we've never had a proper Disney movie get such a low score. So, like,
yeah, because those remakes, they're a special breed because they can be that bad or they can be great, like we saw with Little Mermaid earlier this year.
Little Mermaid, yeah.
It's just like,
way better than this. Way better.
So much better than this. Like, yeah. I'm still thinking about that movie now. I still think about that movie a lot.
And I'm
after we talk about this, other than just seeing this cup in my stupid popcorn bucket that I'm almost certainly going to try to give away to somebody, because I just don't want to see that sheep in my life ever again.
Send in the gift exchange. You guys will love this movie.
You guys will love it. We gave it a 5 on Tarqaron. I'll probably forget like everything about this movie after.
But like traditionally, like I gave like movies like The Phantom Menace like a 6.5. It was pretty generous in some things, even ones I considered not good. But now more so as I'm going on, I'm kind of leaning towards the way of if I don't care about a movie, if it's like doesn't do anything for me, I'm gonna go more so in the other direction than. Like, let's give it a little buff. It's still a Disney movie. Let's give it a 6 or whatever.
Yeah, that grace is gone. That grace has gone away. Like, I didn't even give that to The Phantom Menace, and that's a movie that I'm almost certainly gonna watch repeatedly through the rest of my life. So, as messy and bad as it is, but this movie I have no plans on probably ever watching it again. So,
well, thank you for joining us for this review. And if you have any thoughts on it, on the movie or our review, leave them below. Leave a comment, and we'll be sure to read it in the next episode of the Tarqaron podcast. We always read any new comments we get at the end of those, so be sure to do that. And Alec, what video would you recommend our viewers watch next after this one?
I mean, I guess we talked about it a few times, but like, go check out our review of The Phantom Menace. It's a Disney property, Star Wars.
So similar. There's so much overlap between.
There's a lot of overlap. There's a lot of wishing. There's a lot of wishers.
Where my wishes?
That sounds weird. My wish. Is that what fans of this movie are going to be called?
Yeah.
Wishers. I'm a wisher.
Fellow wishers, who's your ship? Ship's the one, the short, dwarf boy. What is it? What is it?
His name's like, I don't know, like Gumbo. I don't know. I don't remember his Goopy. I don't remember his name. It's like something.
I love him.
I ship.
Yeah.
The really quiet, the bashful one who you can barely hear. I ship them. Yeah.
Ship those two. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more, hit the notification bell, and click the links in the description for social media. All right, now.
All right.
Take care of yourself.